It was a Sunday in Lakewood, Colorado. The sun was bright, the mountains calm, but inside a second-floor apartment, tragedy had struck. Hannah Myers, a young woman known for her love of music, was found lifeless on her sofa. Her sister Emily, after unanswered calls, discovered the unlocked door and the eerie stillness. No signs of struggle, no break-in, only a single folded note on the coffee table. The message was a riddle. The sparrow's first flight is over. The willow weeps by the silent stream. Find the key where the lullaby begins. Police were baffled, but Emily recognized the code instantly. It was a secret language from their childhood, a game only she and Hannah knew. Emily told detectives, "I can read this, it's our game." The killer had left a challenge, and only Emily understood the rules. The apartment, once peaceful, was now the starting point of a dark game. The killer had made it personal. Emily's grief turned to determination. The note was more than a clue, it was a summons. The police looked to Emily for answers. She realized the only way forward was to play along. The game had begun and the stakes were life and death. The killer was watching. Emily was ready. The first move was hers. Emily revealed the game's name, the Melody Cipher. It was a code built from childhood memories, songs, and secret places. The sparrow was Hannah, her first flight, her move to Lakewood. The willow and stream pointed to their grandmother's backyard, their childhood hideout. The lullaby was a reference to a music box on their grandmother's mantelpiece, always the hiding spot for their next clue. The killer knew their most intimate secrets. This was no random act, it was deeply personal. Emily explained the clues to detectives, each one a map to their past. The message was clear. The killer wanted Emily to follow. The police prepared to search the grandmother's house. Emily braced herself to revisit old memories now twisted by tragedy. The Melody Cipher was no longer a game, it was a hunt. Emily was the only one who could play. The next clue awaited, she had to find it. The investigation led to their grandmother's house beneath the weeping willow by the stream. Emily found a tin box hidden in the garden wall, just like in their childhood. Inside was another note. The mockingbird sang a stolen song. The promise was broken at the autumn dance. The stage is now empty. Emily decoded it. The mockingbird was Ryan, Hannah's ex-boyfriend who had stolen her song in college. The autumn dance was the night Hannah confronted him, ending her music career. The killer knew every painful detail. Detectives turned their focus to Ryan. Emily realized the killer was someone close, someone who knew their secrets. The clues were more than memories, they were accusations. The past was being weaponized. Emily felt the killer's presence everywhere. The game was tightening around her. The police pressed Ryan for answers. Emily searched for anyone else who might know the Melody Cipher. The next move was coming. Ryan, the ex-boyfriend, became the prime suspect. He denied involvement, but his knowledge of Hannah's secrets made him suspicious. He admitted to stealing her song and the fight at the autumn dance, but claimed he hadn't seen Hannah in years. His alibi was weak, but there was no evidence tying him to the crime. The police were stuck. Meanwhile, Emily received a new note, this time slipped under her own door. It read, "Some birds aren't meant to be caged. You're the only one who can still hear her song. Don't let it fade." The killer was now speaking directly to Emily. The message was both a warning and a challenge. Emily felt the pressure mounting. The killer was always one step ahead. The police watched Ryan, but Emily knew the answer lay deeper in the past. The Melody Cipher was now a lifeline, and a threat. Emily refused to give up. The game was far from over. The killer was still out there. Emily was determined to find them. Months passed. The case grew cold, but the shadows in Lakewood lingered. Ryan remained a suspect, yet new witnesses began to emerge, each with fragments of the truth. Detectives pored over files, searching for connections in the growing web of secrets. Emily clung to memories, haunted by the killer's final message, "Don't let it fade." The Melody Cipher was no longer just a puzzle. New evidence hinted at secrets buried deeper than anyone imagined. Emily replayed every memory, searching for the missing piece, as rumors of a shadowy figure watching from afar grew louder. The note stopped, but new questions surfaced with every lead. Was Ryan the killer, or just another piece in a larger game? Was someone else hiding in the shadows, orchestrating every move? The Lakewood Melody murder became a legend, its echoes stirring new witnesses and old fears. Unsolved, unfinished, the case refused to rest. Hannah's song was silenced, but the investigation played on. Emily listened for the final note, knowing the truth was still out there. The game was not over. New evidence waited in the wings. Emily was still waiting for the answer, as the investigation pressed on into the unknown. The investigation took a new turn as detectives canvassed Lakewood, gathering fragments of truth from those closest to Hannah. Police interview rooms became confessionals, each statement a puzzle piece but none fitting quite right. Mrs. Carter, Hannah's neighbor, recalled, "I saw her that night. She waved at me from the porch. She looked happy, I think. Or maybe she was hiding something. It's hard to remember now." Ryan's best friend Mark insisted, "Ryan couldn't have done this. We were together until midnight, but he did leave for a bit to get something from his car. That's all." Emily's voice, brittle but determined. "Hannah called me before it happened. She said someone was watching her, but she wouldn't say who. I wish I'd asked more questions." Detectives pressed for details. A neighbor contradicted herself, first claiming she saw a man in a hoodie, then later, it might have just been the shadows. Another friend hesitated. Hannah was secretive lately, maybe she had a reason. The more the police listened, the more the story unraveled. Red herrings multiplied. Was it Ryan's shadow on the porch or someone else's? Did Hannah leave a clue in her last conversation? Or was it lost in the noise of memory? In the end, the witness accounts deepened the mystery, raising more questions than answers, leaving Emily and the town of Lakewood trapped in a web of contradictions, haunted by the fragments of truth. Inside the Lakewood Police Department, the evidence room becomes a stage, its harsh, flickering lights illuminating the objects that might hold the answers everyone desperately seeks. Detective Ramirez flips through a file, voice low but urgent. Bag 17, found near the porch, a silver locket engraved with the initial R. Forensics say no clear prints. Anyone know if Hannah wore this? Detective Lee, reviewing a forensic report, shakes her head. And this, bag 22, a crumpled sheet of music. The notes are smudged, but someone's written "Remember the game" in the margin, same handwriting as the note found in Hannah's diary. Partial fingerprint recovered from the porch railing, no match in the system. Smudged, possibly wiped, suggests the person was careful, or nervous. What about the fabric? Matches nothing in Hannah's wardrobe. But look, tiny flecks of blue paint. We need to check local painters, maintenance workers, anyone with access to her street. This all points in different directions. Ryan's locket, the music note, an unknown fingerprint. None of it fits together, unless someone wanted it that way. Each item, each report, spins the story further away from resolution. The officers, surrounded by evidence, are left in a maze of ambiguity. Was the locket a planted clue? Did the cryptic message on the music sheet point to a childhood secret, or a hidden accomplice? And whose fingerprint lingered on the porch, half erased by fear or calculation? As the evidence mounts, so do the questions. In Lakewood, certainty slips further from reach, replaced by shadows and doubt, and somewhere the truth waits, buried beneath the weight of what's been found and what remains hidden. Sudden cuts slice through the silence of the Lakewood Police Department. Detective Ramirez's phone vibrates, an urgent call from the front desk. "We have someone here, says they need to change their statement about the night Hannah vanished." A nervous figure, once the case's star witness, now sits under the harsh interrogation lights, voice trembling. I wasn't honest that night," they admit. "I saw someone, but it wasn't who I said. I was scared. I thought if I kept quiet, it would all go away." Detective Lee's eyes widen as the witness describes a tall figure in a blue-stained jacket, loitering near Hannah's porch. "Did you see the face?" Lee presses. The witness shakes their head. "It was too dark, but they were watching, waiting." As the detectives scramble to cross-check this new account, a forensic tech bursts into the room. "You need to see this!" They reveal a recently overlooked security cam frame, grainy but unmistakable. A silhouette, unknown, blurred by rain, stands across the street staring at Hannah's house. The timestamp matches the night she disappeared. Sudden close-ups capture the detective's shock. Emily, sitting beside the evidence table, clutches her hands, realization dawning, and then receding. The pieces almost fit, but the case file remains thick with contradictions. The recanted testimony, the mysterious figure, the blue paint on the fabric. Each answer unspools new questions. And as the detectives look up, the camera lingers on a shadowy figure in the parking lot, watching from afar, face hidden. The final shot, the Lakewood case file closes with a heavy thud. The truth, it seems, is still out there, waiting, just beyond the reach of certainty. A single question echoes in the emptiness. In Lakewood, will the truth ever truly come to light? The rain hasn't let up in Lakewood, and neither has the tension. Just as the detectives begin to piece together the shadowy truth, another twist shatters the silence. A knock echoes through the police department's corridor. Detective Lee opens the interview room door to find a woman, Sarah Caldwell, Hannah's former neighbor, her hands trembling, eyes rimmed red. She hasn't spoken to police in months. Now she insists she can't keep quiet any longer. The camera glides over the official transcript, each word punctuated by the soft clatter of a typewriter. Detective Ramirez, Miss Caldwell, you stated before you saw nothing unusual the night Hannah disappeared. Why come forward now? Sarah Caldwell, voice quivering. I lied, I was scared. I saw Mark Fielder, leaving Hannah's house around midnight. He had something wrapped in a blue jacket. I thought it was nothing, but the guilt's been eating me alive. Detective Lee, Mark Fielder, he was never on our suspect list. Why didn't you tell us this before? Sarah, he told me if I said anything, people would think I was crazy, but that night after he left, I heard a car door slam. I saw him drive off fast, headlights off. I remember because he nearly hit my mailbox. Detective Ramirez, are you certain it was Mark? Sarah hesitates. I think so. I saw his face in the porch light. He looked angry, like I'd never seen him before. The transcript scrolls to the next page. Detective Lee cross-examines Sarah's original statement, pointing out discrepancies. Sarah's voice cracks as she admits to omitting details, fearing for her safety. The detectives exchange glances, the weight of new suspicion pressing down. Cut to Emily, her breath shallow, hands shaking. Mark Fielder, a family friend, someone she'd never suspected. The camera lingers on her tearful eyes as the realization hits. Trust can be a dangerous illusion. Detective Ramirez quietly closes the file. The evidence, blue paint, the hurried car, the neighbor's fear, suddenly points in a new direction. The case, once cold, is ablaze with possibility. But with every revelation, the line between truth and betrayal grows thinner. As Sarah leaves the station, the detectives sit in stunned silence. Outside, the rain finally stops, replaced by a heavy, expectant hush. The shadows in Lakewood have shifted, and somewhere the real story waits to be uncovered. As dawn breaks over Lakewood, the case takes an unexpected turn. With Sarah Caldwell's confession fresh in their minds, Detectives Lee and Ramirez order a full re-examination of every scrap of evidence, hoping the truth lies hidden in plain sight. Jordan Singh scrolls through digital microscope images. Wait, stop, zoom in on that fiber. That's not from the jacket. It's synthetic, different weave. It doesn't match Mark Fielder's jacket either. But look, there's a tiny fleck of red paint embedded. Red paint? That's new. Wasn't there a report about a red bicycle at the scene? Yeah, but we ruled it out, because it belonged to Tyler Graham, Emily's older brother. Run the fiber against Tyler's belongings. If it's a match, we reopen every alibi. Tyler Graham, rarely mentioned, often overlooked. But in the summer before Hannah vanished, he'd grown distant. Rumors swirled about arguments, jealousy, and a secret that fractured the trio's childhood bond. It's a match! The fiber came from Tyler's red bike. The paint from the handlebar. He was there that night. We need to talk to Tyler, now. A single missed clue, a brother's shadow. The labyrinth of evidence has led them here where loyalty, memory, and guilt collide. Slow zoom on the interrogation room's frosted glass. Inside, Tyler Graham sits across from Emily, his hands trembling. Detectives Lee and Ramirez observe from behind the one-way mirror. The room pulses with tension. Sound of a recorder clicking on. On screen, police interrogation transcript, 9:17 a.m. Emily, voice trembling. Why, Tyler, why didn't you just tell me? Tyler, choked. I didn't want to hurt you, I thought I could fix it, make it right somehow. Detective Lee. Tyler, the evidence places you at the playground that night. The fiber, the paint, and now, your fingerprints on Hannah's bracelet. It's time to tell the truth. Tyler, voice cracking. It wasn't supposed to go that far. She found the letters, Emily, the ones I wrote about leaving. She threatened to tell you everything about me, about the money I took from Dad's safe. Emily, you fought with her? Tyler, she tried to stop me. We struggled, the bike fell, she hit her head. I panicked. I'm sorry, cut to emotional testimonies. Emily's mother, tears streaming down her face. Mrs. Graham, Tyler was always so protective. I never thought he could hurt anyone. Mark Fielder, voice shaky. Mark, we all had secrets, but Tyler, he carried the weight alone. We should have seen it. Detective Ramirez, quietly. Detective Ramirez. Sometimes the truth is buried beneath love and fear. Cut back to interrogation. Emily, quietly. You let me believe she ran away. You let me blame myself. Tyler, I was scared, Em. I thought I could shield you. I never meant for any of it to happen. The twist. Detective Lee slides a photo across the table, an old faded letter. Tyler's confession written years ago, never sent, found hidden in Emily's childhood diary. Detective Lee, you tried to confess before, you were just a kid, but you never mailed it. Tyler breaks down, sobbing, voiceover as Emily stands, tears in her eyes, but her voice steady. Emily, The truth hurts but lies hurt longer. I forgive you, Tyler, for her, for us. It's time to let Hannah rest. Music swells, somber yet hopeful. Montage Emily leaving the station, stepping into the morning sun. The camera lingers on the playground, empty now but peaceful. A sense of closure settles over Lakewood. Voiceover, soft. Sometimes the truth is the only way forward, even when it shatters everything you thought you knew. Screen fades to black. The screen fades in from black to the soft glow of morning sunlight streaming through the Lakewood Police Department windows. The camera glides over a stack of official documents stamped and signed. Final police report. Case closed. A detective's measured voice reads aloud. Following a thorough investigation and confession, the disappearance of Hannah Fielder is resolved. Tyler Graham's actions, though tragic, were not premeditated. The evidence aligns with his account. The town of Lakewood can begin to heal. Cut to a montage of witness statements, audio layered over quiet scenes, neighbors tending gardens, children playing the playground restored. Mark Fielder, voiceover, contemplative. We lost Hannah, but we also lost our innocence. Maybe now, with the truth out, we can remember her for the light she brought, rather than the darkness that followed. Mrs. Graham, voiceover, tearful but composed. I mourn the boy Tyler was and the man he struggled to become. I hope we all learn to speak up even when it's hard. Detective Ramirez, voiceover, steady. Every case leaves echoes. This one will remind us to look closer, listen deeper, and never let fear silence the truth. The scene shifts to Emily standing quietly at the edge of the playground. She lays a single white flower beside the old swing set, the spot where her childhood ended and her healing began. Emily, voiceover, hopeful. I've spent years searching for answers, blaming myself, running from grief, but closure isn't forgetting, it's learning to live with the truth, for Hannah, for Tyler, for me. A gentle breeze stirs, carrying children's laughter in the distance. Emily smiles softly, a tear tracing her cheek, but her eyes are clear. In Lakewood, the shadows have lifted. The past is no longer a secret, and as the sun rises, so too does hope, for forgiveness, for peace, for new beginnings. The screen fades to white. Text appears. In memory of Hannah Fielder. Sometimes the only way forward is through the truth. End credits roll over the sound of birdsong and gentle piano. The screen flickers back from white, lingering on the faded photograph of Hannah Fielder. The gentle birdsong fades, replaced by a low, pulsing tension. The camera pans to the Lakewood Police Department, now cast in the cool blue light of evening. Inside, Detective Ramirez sits across from a figure shrouded in shadow, an unfamiliar face, hands trembling over a cup of untouched coffee. Just when Lakewood began to heal, a new voice shattered the calm. A witness, absent until now, claims to have seen something that changes everything. I didn't come forward before because I thought it was nothing. But that night, I saw someone else near the playground, not Tyler, someone I've never seen before. Mr. Kelly, we need you to be specific. Are you sure? This could change the entire case. I'm not sure of anything anymore. But I remember the way they moved, hurried, like they didn't belong. I thought it was just a stranger passing through. But now, the camera cuts to Emily, eyes wide and haunted as she listens from the hallway. The fragile peace she'd begun to build now teeters on the edge of collapse. After all this time, after all that pain, what if we were wrong? What if the truth still isn't what it seems? Ramirez scribbling notes the new suspect's vague silhouette reconstructed from memory, the case file, once closed, now reopened. The sound of a ticking clock grows louder, echoing the uncertainty settling over Lakewood once more. The confession that brought closure now raises more questions. The town's wounds, barely healed, are torn open again. For Emily and for everyone who loved Hannah, the search for truth begins anew. The camera lingers on Emily's face, hope, fear, and determination in her eyes, as the screen fades to black. The screen fades in from black, lingering on Emily's trembling hands as she opens a battered, dust-covered box in the attic of her childhood home. Sunlight filters through the window, illuminating the faded initials HF, scrawled on a worn leather diary. Emily's breath catches. She runs her fingers over the pages, some torn, others covered in messy, frantic handwriting. As she opens to the first entry, Hannah's voice emerges, soft and wavering, her words filling the silence. Hannah, I hear them again tonight, footsteps outside my window. I told Mom, but she said it was just the wind. But I know what I heard. I know someone is watching me. Emily's eyes widen, tears welling up as she reads on, flipping through page after page, each entry more desperate than the last. Hannah, Tyler says I'm being paranoid, but why does he keep looking over his shoulder too? And why was Mr. Adams at the playground after dark? He said he was looking for his dog, but I don't believe him anymore. The camera cuts to Emily's face, shock, fear, and anger battling for control. She clutches the diary to her chest, her mind racing with names she thought she could trust. Hannah, if something happens to me, I hope someone finds this. Don't let them say it was an accident. Please, don't let them forget me. The music intensifies, the heartbeat growing louder as Emily sinks to the floor, the weight of Hannah's secret world pressing down on her. The camera pans over the diary's final, unfinished entry, just 4 words, scrawled in shaky handwriting. I know their face. Emily's voice breaks the silence, a whisper barely audible. Emily, I won't let them forget you, Hannah, I promise. The scene ends with Emily staring into the shadows, Hannah's diary clutched in her hands, as suspicion falls on those she once called family, and the hunt for the truth takes a darker, more personal turn. The screen opens on a desolate gravel road winding through the misty pines of Blackwood Quarry. Sirens are silent, but red and blue lights blink through the haze as 2 detectives step from their unmarked car. Their faces are hidden in shadow, voices hushed as they approach the lone figure waiting near the quarry's edge, Mr. Adams. He stands rigid, hands shoved into his jacket pockets, eyes darting between the detectives and the dark water below. The tension is palpable. Mr. Adams, we need to talk. About Hannah, about that night. Mr. Adams shakes his head, jaw clenched. You're making a mistake. I didn't hurt Hannah. I tried to help her. A flicker of defiance, then fear. He glances at the tree line as if expecting someone or something to emerge. The detectives press on. Her diary mentioned you. She was afraid. Why were you really at the playground after dark? Mr. Adams exhales sharply, voice trembling as he finally speaks. I saw her meeting someone, not me. A man, tall, always in a dark coat. She knew him. She called him Uncle, but I never saw his face. The detectives exchange a look. This changes everything. You don't know what she was involved in. There were others. Other kids, other towns. Look into the old cases, the disappearances. She tried to stop them. That's why she was scared. Suddenly a radio crackles. The detective steps away, voice urgent. We found something in the evidence room. It matches the diary. You need to see this. The camera lingers on Mr. Adams's haunted face as the detectives rush to their car. The quarry fades behind them, swallowed by fog. As the screen cuts to black, a single line appears. A fingerprint, found at last. One that shouldn't exist. The hunt for the truth has only just begun. The scene opens in the warm glow of a living room, rain pattering softly against the windows. Emily sits curled on the edge of the couch, her hands wrapped tightly around a mug of tea. Her mother sits beside her, a comforting arm draped over Emily's shoulders, while her younger brother, Ben, hovers nearby, awkward, concerned, wanting to help but unsure how. Emily's voice is barely above a whisper. It never ends, does it? Every answer is another question. I keep seeing her, Mom. I keep hearing her laugh. Her mother squeezes her hand, eyes glistening. You were always her protector, even when you were little. Ben interrupts, his voice cracking. Remember when Hannah made us search the backyard for clues to her treasure hunt? She tricked us into cleaning up the whole yard. They all manage a small, bittersweet laugh. Emily's father, quiet until now, clears his throat. She was stubborn, brave too. She never let anyone tell her what to think. Maybe that's why she got involved in whatever this was. As the family shares stories, Hannah's kindness to stray animals, her obsession with puzzles, her secret drawings tucked under floorboards, a new picture emerges. Hannah wasn't just a victim, she was a fighter, a protector, someone who saw things others missed. Emily's tears flow freely now, but so do her words. She left us clues, she wanted us to find the truth, we owe her that much. The camera lingers on the family, huddled together in the flickering light, bound by grief but also by hope. Outside, the rain begins to lift, and a faint dawn glimmers at the horizon. As the screen fades to black, a single phrase appears. Sometimes the greatest courage is found in the quiet moments, when we choose to remember and to carry on. The first light of morning cuts through the mist as the key players gather at the edge of Blackwood Quarry. Emily stands at the center, her family flanking her, faces drawn but resolute. Detective Rowe arrives, evidence folder clutched in his hand, while Miss Aldridge, Hannah's mentor, lingers at the periphery, eyes wary and watchful. The accused, once a trusted friend, waits, hands trembling, surrounded by a silent circle of onlookers. Tension hangs in the air, every word heavy with consequence. Detective Rowe lays out the final pieces, the coded diary, the missing recordings, the fingerprints that never quite matched. Emily steps forward, voice steady but raw. We all loved Hannah. We all lost her. But someone here knows the truth. Miss Aldridge's facade cracks, a confession trembling on her lips. The accused protests, voice breaking, "I didn't mean for any of this to happen." Alliances shift. Ben sides with Emily, while their father questions everything they thought they knew. As the sun rises, secrets unravel. Betrayals are named, motives exposed. Yet even as the truth comes to light, it's incomplete. There are gaps in every story, doubts in every confession. The group splinters, some seeking justice, others forgiveness, all haunted by the weight of what they've uncovered. The camera lingers on Emily, her gaze fixed on the horizon. The case is closed, but the wound is still fresh. In the silence that follows, a single question echoes. If the truth is never whole, can justice ever truly be served? As the credits roll, the quarry stands silent, shrouded in morning fog, its secrets lingering, unresolved. As dawn breaks over Lakewood, the town gathers in quiet solidarity by the lakeshore. Emily stands with her family, their faces softened by the golden light, joined by neighbors, friends, and even former adversaries, each drawn by the memory of Hannah and the hope for healing. A simple memorial has been arranged. Wildflowers from Hannah's favorite field, handwritten notes tucked beneath stones, and a circle of candles flickering in the gentle morning breeze. One by one, voices rise above the hush. Detective Rowe speaks first, his tone humble. "In seeking justice, I learned that truth is rarely simple, but compassion must always guide us." Miss Aldridge, voice trembling but clear, steps forward. "Hannah taught me that forgiveness is not forgetting but choosing love over anger." Ben, Emily's brother, places a music box at the memorial, Hannah's melody echoing softly. "She showed us the power of hope, even in the darkest times," he says, tears glistening in his eyes. Emily, standing at the heart of the gathering, addresses the crowd. "We may never know the whole story, but we choose to remember Hannah for her kindness, her laughter, and her light. Today we let go of anger and hold on to love." As the sun rises higher, casting warmth over the assembled faces, the community joins hands. Old wounds begin to mend, united by shared grief and the promise of new beginnings. The camera lingers on the sunrise reflected in the lake, peaceful, unbroken. In the final moments, a message appears on screen. "In truth we find strength, in love we find healing. Let us carry both forward, together." The screen fades to black, leaving the audience with hope, closure, and the enduring power of memory.